As we see here, we have a wild jay in his natural habitat, sailing across the ocean at immense speeds, going for one of his old friend's items. He is currently sailing in one of his makeshift boats as we speak. His armor is nothing good, just a pair of enchanted pants and an iron helmet. He is merely just sailing across the sea, doing nothing but staring down at the ground as he goes in search for his old friend's items. You can see his cape flowing along the wind, every now and then stopping to type who knows what. He looks side to side, looking for land. Oh, he is turning now. Oh, he looks up at the camera intensely. This creature is one of many. He usually travels in packs of 3, but his other 2 members have died. Sad for him. He does not have a wild gram or a wild fiddle to keep him company, so he travels the sea alone. He finally finds land, the place that he's been searching for this entire time. Where shall he go on this land? He does not even know. Or does he? Jays' minds are unpredictable, unknown by science. They have never been able to capture a wild jay due to their very snake-like movements in escaping. He dives under the water and begins swimming. He finds an old village, supposedly raided. He searches through the chest, grabs a carrot, and begins making his way up. This place seems to have already been taken over, so this might be where his old friend died. Oh, he farms the pumpkins. He is truly going against whatever the heck he's trying to do. There is the stuff. He watches as he picks it all up. He stares down at the ground, sorting out his inventory, deciding what to pick up and what to leave. He decides to drop a few blocks. He's taking all the valuables with him. Nothing more, nothing less. Hello, Fiddle. He brings the lapis, but will he bring the fishing rod and the shield? He has dropped some food, it looks like, in that pile. Jays often do not need to rely off of food, since they rely off of toes for their food source. Constantly nibbling at a gram's feet, but he does not have a wild gram to be with him, meaning that he must eat to survive. He tosses out an old sword, some old food, some old sticks, a boat, and some blocks. He stares at the ground in his old items and then begins running off. He searches the well for the bell, grabs it, and makes his grand escape. He gets trapped in one of the villager pits and then begins running away. He uses his shovel one time and then tosses it off. He does not need this shovel. It is not his friend. There seems to be a tamed cat over in the distance that he has not seen yet. He seems to go back and talk with that villager. Oh no, he's just trapping him. As you can see, Jay brains are unable to be detected with any sort of movement. They never let you know their next move. He just hit a pig. What a strong Jay this is, surviving all on his own with no help. Usually Jays do not last more than 4 seconds without a friend, but this one is different. This one is mining coal. Smart. For his long survival, he needs coal to make torches. As we can see, he slowly digs out the land, making his coal harvest well worth it. As he digs out the land, He runs into some dirt. What shall he do? Oh, he just heads back up. He does not need anything more than coal. As he eats his carrot, he runs off. He sees a fox that he then chases. He's like a dog. He cannot resist not chasing something. He sees the cat, the tamed one. He does not know what to do with his own life. Does he take the cat with him, even though it is unable to be moved? Or does he leave the cat? He does not even know. It looks like that he is bringing the cat with him. Smart move by a jay, but very common move in general by a jay. Jays often have a love for cats, often using them as their own companions when they do not have anyone else with them. Cats, for some reason, hold a special place in jays' hearts. All around any form of cat, specifically a brown cat with a few spots here and there, seem to be their top favorite. Now he sails back across the sea, occasionally stopping. Oh, and it looks like he's turning back around. He seems to be basking in the glory that he has, now having a cat with him, as its nose sticks through. And Jay, I cannot read your chat. I'm in F1. As he sails the great lands, the great sea, he thinks about what he just did, thinks about stealing the items, thinks Jay thoughts, which is probably building a giant tower that is completely unnecessary. But he sails with no regard for any need. As he sails off into the sunset, he slowly disappears from my camera, and I have to fly back to him. As he sails across the sea, the moon begins to rise. Hello, Fiddle. The moon begins to rise. In this endless world that he is in, all alone, with two friends of Ghost. He dives down under the water, seeming to do something that only a jay would do. He is seen swimming to a shipwreck. What is he going to do? Is he going to sleep? He's going to raid it. He raids the shipwreck, then begins sleeping. Oh. Jay has gotten himself a buried treasure map. As he's seen picking up his items and then dropping them, he grabs the books, the ice cream cone looking things. He drops very valuable pumpkin seeds, often not used for Jay's survival. He seems to be drowning. Oh no. But he successfully makes it back to his door. The door is what keeps Jays alive down here. Without doors, Jays would be nothing more than just an extra body in the sand. Often Jays take paper and whatever random resources they can find. He leaves behind an old chest plate. For what? What is he grabbing instead? He's going to leave behind some carrots and grab the stew. He begins drowning once again. He's back in his door. He tosses out the bowls. He seems to be testing out what they are. He just seems to be chowing them down, even if they hurt him. He seems to be... He seems to be harmed by this bowl. It has given him, like Fiddle said, it gave him the poison effect. Jays do not enjoy the poison effect. It merely hurts their stomach way too much. They're sensitive little tummies. Most jays often have a very sensitive tummy. Not this one. This one is all muscle, all power. Due to having to adapt with no one around, he's become stronger than most jays. Just him and his cat in the sea, and a random cod. I don't know where that cod came from. He's just all alone out here. He's like Jay. As he sails back home, wherever he goes, he brings his cat, this random cat that he just kidnapped along with him. I am running out of dialogue. Jay, do something. As we can see, he is holding his bread, sailing across the sea. I do not know how he's telekinetically moving these oars. Oh, He seems to be doing something, a wild J move. Breaking seaweed is a natural J. There is no reason for his natural kelp breaking abilities. Jays just often like to break kelp. It seems to satisfy their very large and over eccentric brains. He sails back off after doing a random J move. This is what is unknown to science. Why Jays do this. They have tried countless tests upon different Jays, and yet none of them ever seem to respond to anything but natural kelp. He seems to be slightly tilting his boat. He then turns around, does a donut, and sails back off. This is another thing. This is another natural phenomenon that scientists cannot ever predict. Jay's moves seem to be natural, but unnatural at the same time, almost as if every Jay has its own different personality. Yet bound with one, he seems to stop for a second, as he then sails off into the distance. Oh, he made a wrong turn, it seems. Once he reaches land, he shall complete his journey as the great Jay explorer of the sea. He shall be known more famously than Christopher Columbus himself for exploring old lands. He stops. He then starts again. He seems to have found land. His journey is coming to an end. And so is this documentary. As he finds his home, the documentary is reaching its end. He keeps on sailing through the river. He sees fish, squid, everything in between, and yet he goes straight past them. All he cares about is getting this cat home and himself. As he arrives back at his glorious, glorious settlement, he figures out a way to bring this cat on the land. And how shall he bring it back on the land? Find out in the next documentary.